Okay, let's dive right into this explainer because today we're looking at a massive paradigm shift in how we view our financial decisions and wealth building. Welcome back, everyone. We've got a phenomenal topic lined up that is basically going to completely flip the script on traditional financial advice. For years, we've been told exactly how to budget, how to save, and what to restrict in our daily lives so we can magically become wealthy. But what if that conventional wisdom has us looking in the exact wrong direction? Today, we're going to dig into the fascinating data behind how we audit our lives, and we're comparing two totally different financial mindsets, the vault versus the change jar.
So think about this for a second. Where are you actually spending your mental energy when you're trying to budget? Are you agonizing over pennies while dollars are literally just flying out the window? Picture a literal change jar sitting on your kitchen counter. It's full of nickels, dimes, quarters, right? We spend so much time counting those coins, making absolutely sure we aren't losing a few cents here and there. But meanwhile, we leave the giant, heavy steel door of our financial vault completely wide open. We're going to break down exactly what that means and how to fix it right now.
All right, let's get into section 1, the latte factor illusion, sweating the small stuff.
We've all heard this gospel, usually from some guru yelling at us about avocado toast or telling us to restrict our tiny daily pleasures. The latte factor is that classic piece of financial advice that has been pushed on us for decades now. The logic goes that if you just stop buying your morning coffee or that little afternoon snack, you'll somehow amass this massive fortune. It's honestly the ultimate example of strictly auditing that change jar while totally ignoring the bigger picture.
And it always starts with a seemingly insignificant number, doesn't it? $5. It's the cost of a little daily joy. Maybe it's a quick pick-me-up on your commute or just a brief moment of peace before a crazy workday. But traditional budgeting frameworks are designed to make you feel immense guilt for this specific $5 transaction, framing it as the one thing standing between you and your financial independence.
But here is the kicker. That traditional advice basically demands that you agonize over skipping this tiny pleasure every single day for 30 years. Think about that. 30 years. That's 3 decades of willpower, restriction, and daily mental gymnastics, all to save $5 at a time. It's just an unbelievable amount of mental energy and decision fatigue spent on something that, in the grand scheme of things, is a really tiny slice of your overall financial picture. You're essentially spending 30 years actively stressing over your change jar. So, let's shift gears completely. Section 2. Enter the truck factor, unlocking the vault. Instead of sweating those small daily things, the truck factor asks us to look at the massive, singular decisions that actually dictate the whole trajectory of our financial lives. It's about looking at those big, heavy doors of the vault, rather than the glass jar on your counter. It's realizing that big-ticket items, we're talking cars, houses, massive loans, these are where the real financial battles are won and lost. And this is where it gets crazy. The crucial point here is that a massive, high-stakes financial decision is often finalized in a remarkably brief 11-minute conversation at a car dealership. Just 11 minutes. I mean, think about that contrast for a second. We are culturally conditioned to spend 30 years stressing over a cup of coffee, but a completely life-altering financial commitment, we usually breeze right through it, sitting across the desk from a car salesperson in less time than it takes to actually drink that coffee. And boom, the result of that quick 11-minute chat is a staggering $770 monthly payment. Just let that number sink in for a moment. $770 gone every single month. That is a huge chunk of your monthly cash flow instantly locked up and committed to a depreciating asset. And you agreed to the whole shebang in just a few fleeting moments of conversation.
Which brings us to section 3, rethinking your future wealth, the real cost.
Because that brief conversation about a truck payment actually costs a staggering $570,000 in future wealth. Seriously, no way around it. Because here's the secret. When you commit $770 a month to a vehicle, well, that's money that is not being invested in the market. It's not compounding. It's not working for you. Over the course of your working life, the opportunity cost of that one single truck payment blossoms into well over $500,000 of lost potential wealth. That is literally the vault emptying right before your eyes. It is just this completely tragic irony. Look at this. On one hand, you have a lifetime of misery and self-denial over a $5 latte. And on the other hand, you casually sign away over $500,000 of your future net worth in just 11 minutes. It is a complete and total mismatch of where we put our mental energy versus the actual financial impact. When you look at it visually and really weigh the true impact, the truck factor absolutely dwarfs the latte factor. A lifetime of skipping coffee is just a tiny little blip compared to the massive, towering cost of a bad auto loan on your future self. The traditional advice of sweating the small stuff, it just completely crumbles under the math. Auditing the vault, getting your major purchases right, that is where your true financial power actually resides.
As the source material so brilliantly points out in this quote, getting the big things wrong creates a tidal wave that no amount of skipped lattes can save you from. It's not that small savings don't add up, it's that they're just a drop in the ocean compared to the massive consequences of a bad major purchase. If you get the big things right, like your housing, your transportation, you know what? You can easily afford to buy the coffee. But if you get the big things wrong, no amount of restriction is ever going to save your financial future. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought to ponder as you step out of this explainer and into your next major financial decision. Will you continue to exhaust yourself by policing your change jar, or are you going to step up and rigorously audit the vault? Stop sweating the small stuff, take real control of your big decisions, and just watch how much easier it becomes to build real wealth. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive, and I will catch you on the next explainer.